Today we're going to look at the side plank and how you can get some more out of it. You can really wring out the towel on this movement. So, very simple movement on paper, a lot of application that is often missed by people completing it. So, we're going to set up for the side plank, going to give you 3 different things to think about. Always want to see elbow stacked over shoulder. If you need to, you can be in a knees bent position here and keep your knees on the ground for all of these variations. Also, you can go feet at the end here, nice and straight, or even a staggered position forward or back. Find that position that works best for you. I'm cool with whatever that is for today. So I'm going to go feet stacked for this. First thing you're going to do, as you lift off the ground, you're going to see naturally that your body just sets up in almost a hip hinge position. So if you look right now, I'm sitting on the ground with my hip, my knee is slightly in front of my hip, my shoulder is slightly in front of my hip. Okay? That's a hip hinge position. Yes, we're on a side plank, I get it, but if we were standing up and hip hinging, that's what we would see. Your hips would drift back, knees and shoulders would be roughly stacked at the end of that movement. So as you come forward, instead of just thinking of the lift off the ground, I actually want you to think of hip hinge forward and drive those hips up. Now I'm already a lot more active. I'm already shaking a little bit more than if I'm just kind of like, okay, cool, gonna lift up and go. So you're naturally going to be in this knee in front of hip position, shoulder in front of hip position. So use it as a hip hinge. If you have back pain, this is a great way to get some hip hinging in to your own training. So lift up, hips shoot forward, squeeze, holding nice and steady. I just want you to do 3 10-second holds following this pattern. And I want you to really squeeze everything as hard as you can. Be active with this movement. Don't just be passive here trying to hold. Okay? So you take that approach a little bit more and you get a little bit more activation. So number 1, hip hinge. Shoot the hips forward as you lift instead of just kind of lifting off the ground with that casual approach. Number 2, okay, getting set up again. Remember, you can always keep your knees on the ground and do all of these things that I'm telling you to do right now. For number 2, you're going to lift up, hip hinge forward, pull that elbow towards your knee. So you're not actually moving it, but by thinking about pulling it, all of a sudden all this on the side starts to really activate more. You see my hand shaking a little bit. I'm trying to pull that elbow down toward my knee, feeling everything turn on down the side here. 10-second hold and back down. Heart rate's already getting up. You're seeing me shake a little bit as I demonstrate, but just by trying to pull that elbow down toward the knee, you get so much more activation down the side. It's no longer just this hold hanging out at the park. You're really thinking about what you're trying to do. So again, number 1, hip hinge, shoot the hips forward. Number 2, pull that elbow down toward the knee. You're not physically moving it from its spot. You should be anchored there, but you're really trying to be active through that side body. Okay? 3 by 10-second hold of each. Last one, squeeze the glutes. So we're putting it all together here. Lifting up, shoot the hips forward like a hip hinge, pull that elbow down, engage those glutes, holding, squeezing hard as you can, hands shaking, you can see the activation. 10-second hold, and then release back down. Okay? 3 by 10-second hold, doing the same progression on the other side. Just by doing that, you're getting more thought process into this. You're using your time wisely, right? We're all short on time. Why just waste the time doing core exercises that are not going to have that full activation, that full value? So again, hip hinge, shoot the hips forward, pull that elbow down, and then squeeze the glutes to get a more active side plank.